of dishes to do because the girls were off of school for spring break this week, and obviously they weren't going to do the dishes. So what I thought I would do here is I would have a little fun back and forth AMA as I went over a couple stories out there that I think are worth noting. Okay, and that top story is that we have a progression in the Conor McGregor civil case for his alleged December 2018 brutal, violent rape. Okay, that nobody seems to want to talk about. And this development is kind of a big deal to me because it's possibly eventually going to out how corrupt the police and the judicial system is in Ireland, especially in this case. How we doing, Flick Off? Just doing, the regular people chores, and I have so much to do today, and then I got to pick up the kids in a couple hours as well. I thought I would get a broadcast in by doing this. So hopefully everybody's going to enjoy this one. But let's talk about that development. So for those that are unfamiliar with the case, okay, I do want to put this out there, that this woman held out after, being hospitalized, really beaten like you would not believe on top of the sexual assault. And a lot of people were saying first it wasn't McGregor and then she was a gold digger. But the truth of the matter is she turned down over $1 million to try to get this prosecuted in a court of law. Okay, that's what she wanted. That's what any, rational human being would have gone for. Okay, correct? And that is to have this person criminally prosecuted. However, just like in this country, we have extremely corrupt individuals in our quote-unquote justice systems. So despite all that, they never ended up bringing McGregor up on criminal charges. So she had to bring that to the states, this lawsuit. And now a judge has ruled that she has the rights to the investigative materials that are in possession of the Irish Police Department, or Garda. I'm probably butchering the name of that as well. Now, why is that huge? Well, number one, here are the details of the case. First of all, this woman was hospitalized for some time, I believe well over a week, maybe into 2 weeks, possibly even more than that, before even naming McGregor. Okay, let's start there. So all this stuff that this was a he said, she said, money grab, and why would he do this? She was in the hospital, okay? And then, as per reports, McGregor, the morning after, now remember this apparently happened on December 18th, turned himself in to the police with his lawyer for a crime he allegedly did not commit because he said it was consensual. Now, at that time, they sent McGregor on his way. How about that? Wow, that makes sense because she hasn't named him yet. Okay? Now, during this time, it is illegal for the European press, we're talking about late 2018, early 2019, to even name McGregor in this case due to a law on alleged sexual assaults. So they keep referring to him as an Irish sports star. Okay? Now, anybody who did just a little bit of digging like I did, not only found out that Irish sports star was McGregor, but this wasn't the first time he had been accused of such things, that there were leaked WhatsApp messages between European journalists and actual investigators on the case, that this woman apparently, quote-unquote, was in bits, okay, and had, basically been sexually assaulted so severely and was on her period that, what had to happen? Oh, she had to have a tampon surgically removed from her cervix. So she finally names McGregor, and then he goes in to the police station. I believe this was on like January 17th, about a month later, okay? And still they can't report his name. He says that this was a consensual thing. Remember how badly beaten this woman was, okay? Now, We've gone over the circumstances of this ad nauseum. I have mega threads. Up until just this week, I had it posted on my Twitter as the top pinned post. Why? Well, because it still matters. And it's something people aren't talking about. You know, I've taken that off now that Elon Musk is out there trying to start World War III. And again, he's a front man. He's basically, you know, just doing the bidding of the predator class global agenda. I want to make that extremely clear. Okay, extremely clear. And his latest gag is that he's now, I'm cooking nothing. I'm doing mega dishes, guys. You have no idea this pile of dishes in front of me. You know, I'm gonna have to fill that up, and I'm gonna have to take it off many a time. You know, I'm not cooking a thing. What I'm cooking with right now, guys, is the truth. In my humble little abode. So, Musk is tweeting pictures now of him in sumo combat. Wish you could play a video of him getting smashed by the eagle as you explain this. Oh, you're talking about McGregor? Look, here's the deal, man. I'm upset that, you know, he was even, you know, getting fights after that. He's talking about the cowboy fight, and now they're still trying to promote him. And let's be honest, you know, one of the things I talk about a lot with John Fitch in Mixed Martial Mindset is what? Is the fact that, you know, you don't have to be the best to get paid the most. That's kind of the WWE aspect of this thing, you know? And I get that. If you're marketable, you're marketable. And for some reason, that guy was the biggest star of his era. You know, I've been watching, I think it's called Rowdy's Places on ESPN Plus. And for a time, you know, Ronda Rousey took the world by storm. And, you know, not that she's largely forgotten. She's gone into the WWE. You know, she has taken some time off for her family in a lot of respects. But just the idea that, you know, you have this mega star like her, even when she, you know, tried to make her comeback, and I'm glad she only did it once and it didn't work out. That was a huge sell for the UFC. So for some reason, some people have that factor. And especially when we talk about McGregor, you have to factor in the Irish thing. And that European fans especially, but Irish fans in particular, are extremely loyal. You know, it's almost football, aka soccer-esque. Not American football, but football. For those, for my international audience out there, huh? Look how distinct I am. So, I also, as I take your questions, guys, I'm keeping it real. Don't you worry, this is it. I gotta get this done. It's a lot of things right here. So, another thing I wanted to point out is True Detective is going to be doing a season 4, but here's where it gets tricky. This season is without the original creator. They've parted ways. Nick Pizzolatto, I think his name is. And anybody who knows my stuff, and even the story of the comeback of the Jason Bermas YouTube channel you're watching right now, know that True Detective kind of has a special place in my heart, especially as Hollywood entertainment. So let's talk about it. In the very first episode of the first season, you knew that this was going to be about occultism, child trafficking, okay, and high-leveled, powerful people involved in this activity. That's from the first episode I saw this thing, and it was acted amazingly by Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Okay, just point out, no matter what you think about those guys or what their politics are, or what they're doing in the world, amazing acting in this. Okay, and what I really loved about it is that as you go, you know, through this little anthology series, and I think it's an 8-parter. Okay, I think it's 4 and 4. You come to realize at the end they were never going to solve the whole thing, and the one person that they kind of bring to justice is the lower level guy, and he's connected by blood to a political family. And, you know, spoiler alert, at one point in the story, the Matthew McConaughey character that can't get what's going on out of his head and wants justice sneaks into this preacher's safe. Okay, and he's, you know, a high-level evangelist in the area. He's also related to the same family that you'll come to find out is involved in this. And that's where he gets a hold of this tape of the ritualistic murder and rape of a little girl. Okay, and that part is kind of hearkened to in the very first episode when you see a photograph of what will then become parts of this video that you're witnessing that he ends up showing Woody Harrelson much later in life. Okay, so the series from there is crazy. And again, after the first season, they again bring the one guy to justice, and kind of the takeaway from the time is a flat circle to the obvious, not only occultic, but pedophilia symbolism that is put into this thing. He goes, you know, at the very end, they're discussing it, and they're like, you never get them all. You knew that. And yes, this is season 1. So it wasn't until season 3, when I was doing the comeback on my YouTube channel, that I started breaking them down. And I got some things wrong, and I got some things right. Okay? Some twists and turns in there. But in the 3rd season, okay, they actually bring up and show articles of what? The Franklin scandal in Nebraska. And, you know, you want to talk about real pedogates and high-level people, especially in D.C. and throughout the world, you have to know about the Franklin scandal, okay? And I don't want to ruin that one for you either, but there's a lot of symbolism in that, from trafficked girls, even, you know, kind of the cronyism in the police force, the fact, again, you don't solve them all. Even the 2nd season, there was a lot of allusions, okay, to the Bohemian Grove. They were in California. They were in Northern California amongst the redwoods at the end. There was bird symbolism. There was an elite group that were trafficking in women. Again, heavy into local politicians and the highway system. And Pazzolatto for the 2nd season, by the way. A lot of people rip on the 2nd season. I think the 2nd season is actually great. I think that's the dramatic performance for Vince Vaughn. I usually like Vince Vaughn in comedies. I think he's great as Funkhauser Jr. in whatchamacallit, Curb Your Enthusiasm. But as far as him being in dramatic roles, that is the dramatic role for him. There's no doubt. I do have a dishwasher. Again, you know, they're 10 and 11. It's tough. It's tough. So, you know, sometimes you just got to do it. And plus, I don't love the dishwasher because you got to do a pre-dish anyway, right? It's not like, oh, the dishwasher solved the world. It doesn't. And I may have to get a new one of these. This is looking pretty ragged. Not sure if it's underneath. Or I'm going to walk everybody through my house. So anyway, the 2nd season has all those elements, and Pazzolatto actually said that it was going to be about the occult history of the highway system. Now, I don't know that it really gets into direct nature of that, but you can definitely see as it begins and what's going on, where he was going with it, okay? You have a dishwasher. No, there's an actual washer right here, constantly empty. Let's see. Don't tell me I don't have anyone down here. I know I have one. I know I have one downstairs, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I guess this is kind of like a YouTube exclusive. Colin Farrell is no good. I thought he was all right in that. Okay, you're on Rockfin Live. Just no, I'm not. This is coming from my phone. You know, that's why. So that's Rockfin needs to really up their game with the interface and the apps, and I know you guys know that. And now they're kind of on a timeline for that, but I figured, again, I wasn't sure if I was going to get to go live today, and I didn't want to just spend the whole day cleaning and picking up kids and then maybe later go live. I still might go live later with everything. I do want to recommend that I went on Quite Frankly last night, quitefrankly.tv, at Political Orgy, and great show. We did almost an hour. A lot of different issues, but especially the Musk issue. Especially the Musk. Okay? The wash along, I know. Well, you know, you guys have watched me fold laundry before and put up with it. So I figured, hey, why not do this? Okay, get it done. Do it up. Get it done. Do it up. Season 3, Freemason stuff everywhere in the intro. There's also a lot of owl stuff. Episode 1. Let's see. What do you think of Covington Masvidal altercation last night? I didn't know there was an altercation last night. I know that they're hyping up Covington versus whatchamacallit. Covington versus Adesanya, which I think is actually a good fight. So I'm not sure that Adesanya is better than Usman either. And it probably makes sense that they don't have to fight. What was saying it was a coincidence? Thanks for the info. Why are all social media platforms so scared of Farrakhan? Many people just posted a pic and their posts are taken down. Well, they don't like Farrakhan because it's also, first of all, Farrakhan speaks a lot of truth, okay? And a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's true. It doesn't mean I agree with everything, and I especially don't agree with any kind of racial division. Let's get that out of the way right now. However, he teaches responsibility, accountability. He represents a very non-vocal, large segment of the populace that wants to do their own thing. I call them the bow tie Muslims, Nation of Islam, all that sort of stuff. And it also gives them excuse later on to take their white supremacy mantra, which we all hear and we all know is Johnny nonsense, right? To black supremacy, right? Black supremacists are also a problem. They'll always have an out for a group, right? So now, if you like, maybe if you are a Nation of Islam Muslim, if you do post about Louis Farrakhan, well, you're a black extremist, right? Remember, they associated the person who tried to drive through D.C. and basically got killed as he went through the barricade as a black extremist, as a follower of Farrakhan. So, that's one of the primetime reasons that that's being done. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. By the way, we got 100 thumbs up. We got 142 watching. Again, Musk is dangerous, guys. I want to say it again. Musk is dangerous. Musk is dangerous. Musk is dangerous. Musk is making money from the military-industrial complex. That is where the majority of his cash is coming from. That's where all of his support is coming from. He is someone who is involving himself, okay, in global affairs right now, there are headlines in mainstream media talking about tactical nuclear weapons that could be just used in the Ukraine, that it's no longer unthinkable. What? What happened to mutually assured destruction as soon as something like that takes off? No, now it's not unthinkable. Oh, okay. And yet, you've got a situation. Now think about this. These mini drones that are utilizing the quote-unquote Starlink network, according to mainline sources, okay, and remember, Starlink has ride-along programs on SpaceX, because remember, SpaceX delivers military cargo with what? Blackjack, which is the military-grade Starlink. Okay? Anybody can look it up. They put a couple of Mandrake 2 satellites on one of those SpaceX ride-along programs on their own websites. All right? So it would be foolish, number one, to think that the Defense Department that gave him all these contracts, and he seems to be pushing all of their technology, wouldn't even have a backdoor, bare minimum, into what is called Starlink. Is obviously more plausible that what you're really putting up are what? Blackjack, fully capable satellites. And now utilizing drone warfare, not even for surveillance or strikes, from 30,000 feet, but literally suicide drones, kamikaze drones. Drones that are the equivalent of a Japanese soldier in World War II that just came in for the win. Wow. Mandrake was my first cat's name. Oh, I'm sorry, Occult Priestess. Well, hopefully you can remember some good times. I get sad when I think about my dogs sometimes too. It sucks, But, I'm thinking more and more about getting another one. Got to move on, right? That's right. You got to push forward. You can't let the world paralyze your behavior. That's the whole deal. Let's see. That fan is freaking me out. Why? Because it's like the halo over my head. Halo. Is it like a hat? I wear it like a hat. Like, oh my goodness, it's a hat. Oh, so the quite frankly discussion was a really good one. I love karma, Eva. You have no idea. I'm sure you do. Get a boxer doggy. Who knows? Yeah. Well, it's listen. I gotta start walking again. You know. Hopefully, I just like scratched my eyes, guys. Like my one eyeball is still pretty blurry and weird in a lot of situations. It's not taking the light right. Again, I'm hoping I just like scratched it or whatever, and then I don't have something going on. But who knows? I haven't. My dogs have been gone a long time. I was walking on the daily. A mile, 2 miles, no problem. Very, very much more active than I am today, where I sit in front of a computer most of the time, unfortunately. That's just the truth of the matter. Just being honest. Let's see. Beagle Lab Mix. Season 3 had so much potential. Then the last episode makes it awful. You know what? Here's the thing. I want you to think about it. At the very end, what they're really alluding to, remember the girl who becomes a member of the church. She's being interviewed many years before that as a sex trafficking victim on the streets. And that's where the real story is. Here's the problem. I mentioned season 4 was coming. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know if it's even going to be in the same, because all of those take place in the same quote-unquote universe. If this one will, because Pizzolatto isn't even involved. Out of the gates, they're saying it's going to be, the 2 main characters are going to be women. And in the 3rd season, again, they went back to the guy cop drama. But in the 2nd season, you had a woman lead character who infiltrates the high-level sex trafficking operation and how it works. Let's see. Michelle Moyhan is so good in season 1. And yes, and she had kind of a lead role too. We're talking about the wife of Woody Harrelson, I would assume, right? She was awesome. The whole show was awesome. By the way, almost 100 thumbs. Can we get 100 thumbs up, guys, as we do the dishes here? As we do the dishes. Bum, bum. You didn't like Steven Dorff? Come on. Can you please make a video on Gonzalo Lira? I don't know who that is. Who's Gonzalo Lira? Does anybody want to clue me in? I don't know what the controversy is because I don't know who it is. Who's Gonzalo? Dun, dun, dun. Mir, I'm in Los Angeles, the brainwashing capital of America. No souls in sight. It's tough. New York City's tough too. What's up with Marty Hart? Listen, there's a lot of places for brainwashing. Have you guys seen this Q commercial? CUE? It's crazy. I'm going to be doing a whole video on the Q commercial. But like last night, again, I don't just watch one news network. I know I say that ad nauseum. But I want to see what the propaganda points are, especially when we're getting into this global conflict here, right? So I'm watching CNN, and this thing pops up basically for the new techno-slavery test that your smart home and device are going to tell you, okay? And in it, there's a small child and a woman and, of course, another robot. One of the little vacuum robots. But yeah, this isn't about, I think Bermas could go viral if he would just throw on a cute little black and white maid's outfit, a cute little black and white maid's outfit. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should dress in that. You're right. That's it. You're not wrong. Gonzalo Lira is the journalist currently on site in the Ukraine who is exposing Zelensky. I haven't seen really any of his stuff. Patrick Lancaster is who I've seen on the ground. I don't know much about this other guy, so I don't really know what to comment about. Let's see. I've never seen someone do this much dishes. Guys, there's more. I'm gonna have to stop and let these dry before. Are you still? I wasn't, guys. Just so everybody knows, I have no contract with Infowars. Okay, I haven't worked quote unquote at Infowars since 2010. All right. Let me repeat that. 2010, over a decade. Okay, since I've gotten a paycheck from Infowars. All right, let's just get that out of the way. So I think it's been a little bit over a month since I guest hosted. I hope they reach out. And again, I'll take whatever platform. If they don't, they don't. I listen. No matter what, I want Infowars to be there. I want Prison Planet to flourish, really. You know, I guess Prison Planet's down. I guess it's banned out video now. It's tough, man, because we need more voices. I don't always agree with Alex. Again, I want Alex to do more against Musk. I saw him talking positively about Musk the other day, and I'm just like, man, why are you trusting this guy? Why in the world would you trust this guy with all these contracts? And I get it. It's not black and white. You know, just like I don't trust Ray Kurzweil, right? Kurzweil admits overpopulation is a myth, right? And we have more than enough energy, especially coming up, that we can do whatever we want. And then you have somebody like Musk, who also admits that overpopulation is a myth. And we actually have to worry about a population collapse and taking care of the elderly and sick. And, you know, both of those are interviews pre-COVID 1984. So we acknowledge that here, but you have to acknowledge the guy gained a 600% wealth increase during COVID 1984. You have to acknowledge he's been in bed with NASA and the Air Force and the military-industrial complex since day one. You have to acknowledge that he helped create PayPal, you know, with Peter Thiel. And those are kind of like the public faces of it. I didn't really know much about Musk. Musk is in Shade the Motion Picture just really quickly in a picture with Peter Thiel when I'm exposing Thiel. Yes, Jamie Deluxe does post on Band and a lot of other places. Jamie Deluxe is a great content creator. We love Jamie here. You know, shout out to Jamie Deluxe and all he does. Thank you and God bless you for your work. Masvidal sucker punched Covington in Miami. Oh, really? I could see that. That sucks. It's funny. So, like, I don't gamble a lot, but I had Pat Miletich over, UFC legend and coach, for that fight. We were watching that fight, and Pat started going on a tirade about, oh, you watch, they're going to hug it out after this. You're going to see it's so phony, blah, blah, blah. I go, dude, they're not hugging anything out. I go, you watching this fight right now? I go, I promise you that Masvidal's not going to hug him after. I go, they ain't even going to shake hands, bro. He goes, I'll bet you they'll shake hands. I go, no. I go, and we don't go high stakes. We go a buck. And he handed over that buck right quick. So here's the deal, guys. I'm hitting a crescendo on these dishes that I can stack over here. I want you to go to the Rockfin, ROKFIN.com/Jason Bermas. There is a link down below. At least make the free account there if you are new to the broadcast. That's where you're going to see a ton of stuff. And look, while we were kicked off of YouTube, we did a ton of news that you really can't go over here. On top of that, we've been doing these history watch-alongs. I like doing those. Whenever I find something really, really interesting that's on video or something I haven't seen in the past, I make sure that I, you know, go over, I watch it, and then we do a watch-along. Or if it's brand new, what? Then we admit it and we go, whoa. You know, this is surprising. I've been watching a lot of Herman Kahn lately, so we might do a watch-along on that later on this week. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, I'm going to have Todd McGreevy on the broadcast. And I just want to say, guys, you know it. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. I love you. We must become the great resistance to the great reset and great narrative agenda. And I will see you all on the flip side.